Okay. Hey guys. Okay, I need to figure out how to set this up so we can see more people.
Hey, Harry, how are you, bud?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay, so it's not putting people into a waiting room, which is a good thing. I did a Zoom last night. I dumped every single person into the waiting room over and over and over. So we got a few minutes here. I'll just kind of go through some of the general stuff. So you guys think you're going to build one, huh? Thomas, Tiffany, you're muted.
That's very possible. We are strongly considering it.
Okay, very cool.
I'm definitely going through with one, so looking forward to it.
Okay. I see Luke's on here as well. I think David's going to be coming on. I'm not sure. Matt probably will as well. Hey, Luke.
Hey.
You're muted. There you go. Not used to seeing you with a beard, buddy. It's throwing me off a bit.
Yeah.
Now, let me see if I could find out if Matt's going to be on this as well. Just a second.
Nyla, Stefan, hello.
What? What happened here?
There we go.
Hi, Nella.
Hello.
How are you?
How's it
Long
going?
time no see.
I know. Very long time no see. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So is everybody here going to be at Celebration? I know Stefan is. Nyla, you'll be there for sure. Wait, what's
Yeah,
this?
I'll be there.
Stefan, you better go to Celebration. At this point, I'll go up there, kidnap you, and put you in my suitcase to get you down there.
It's going to be an international endeavor.
Hey, I'm okay. Would that be international kidnapping at that point?
It would be, but I think he would like that.
The bullying.
I think technically Stefan has to press charges for it to count.
Right, exactly.
We're coming up on pool time down here in Phoenix, so I don't think he'll complain about it at all.
Nope.
Oh, that is hilarious.
I was trying to speak and I was on mute. Sorry.
Yeah. So everybody here, it's automatically muting you when you come in. So feel free to chime in at any time. Just keep your mics muted otherwise, so we don't have cats and dogs and things like that in the background. But we'll start here in just another minute or so. I think Matt might be coming on. Hi, Naomi. I see you hiding in the corner.
How do you get the video to where it shows like everybody who has their camera on?
There's a little thing in the upper right corner that shows the display. And I think it with me, it just seems to be shrinking the boxes as more people are added on.
Right.
We have 12 people here right now, so.
Yeah, I'm in the browser mode, so I think that's probably why it's doing that. Because I just see like whoever's talking, it'll flip to that.
Yeah,
No, you need to be in gallery mode.
Yep.
Gallery mode. Okay. I'll see
Yep,
if I
upper
can do
right.
that.
So still more people kind of adding on here, so we'll wait just a few more minutes and then we'll proceed. I'm running on the freebie Zoom account, so we've got 40 minutes. Worst case, it'll work. Let's see. Okay, well, welcome everybody. I think we're just going to continually have people adding in here, so that's no problem at all. More than anything, I just wanted to do more of a Q&A on what's going to be happening, how the whole thing is going to be organized, how files are going to be handed out and things like that. The admins for the group are me, Matt Hobbs, and Stefan. And if you guys have built a V1 drive, you're very familiar because we're the 3 admins and the people behind that. So, but like I said, I just want to kind of go through how we're going to organize this and how we're going to proceed as we go down the path. So the general idea is, actually, I'm back up a little bit. Are you all familiar with my 9e? Shake head, something,
Yes.
somewhat. Okay. To my knowledge at this point, I've got the only 9e that actually has, real metal grills with real panels behind it that actually drives. I know there are other ones out there, but they're static, or they're flat panels that have been painted and things like that. But I wanted something a lot more true to what 9e would be in real life. So I ended up, designing and figuring out how to make this work. And for BB-8 and for 9e, 99% of it's the same droid. So you've got the same drivetrain. The only difference with the drivetrain between 9e and BB-8 is that the 9e drivetrain is the bottom platter is just slightly raised up. And as a matter of fact, those files are already in the V1 group. There is a file in there for smaller spheres or smaller skeletons. That one actually works with 9e. And the only reason for that is because we do have the main panel with the under panel underneath and then LEDs and things like that. I needed just a tiny bit more clearance. And I think it's about, oh God, it's been 4 years since I built them. Probably about 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters. So it's not a big difference, but it is a difference that you have to pay attention to because otherwise you'll end up hitting the LEDs. So, like I said, pretty much they're the same droid, slightly different drivetrain. All the files are developed around the V2 skeleton. So if you already have a V2 skeleton, you could buy, just the grills. If you don't, you can get the skeleton and the grills. It's kind of like a package. The skeletons, I think I have 58 of them left, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together a package of 58 skeletons, or a skeleton with 6 of these, which would be sold as a package. And as far as the grills, one of the things that I put on there and I suggested was to get extra grills. And the reason why is this is a one-time shot. I don't plan on doing it again. I'm not producing any more of the V2 skeletons. So once this is done, it's done. So if you're rolling along with your 9e, or if you drop your 9e out of your trunk and destroy one of these, you now have a static 9e. You could probably reproduce one of these, but I quoted it in the US and they're like $600 a grill. So it'd be very expensive to redo this essentially. So like I said, you'll be able to get the V2 with that. Now, if you already have a V2 skeleton, you'll have the option of just getting grills. And pretty much all that's going to happen is I'm setting up the pre-order from the 20th to May 4th. And anybody that orders up to that point, I put that order in with my vendor. They make them. They are being made overseas. They'll go ahead and they'll make them. It's about a 6-week production time. And then from there, the amount of time it takes to get here simply comes down to shipping. So depending upon the amount of orders we get, I'll either air freight them or I will boat them in. So that time is the variant. Now, with that being said, it's going to take quite a while for everybody to print the under panels and build the different parts that go with it anyhow. So as far as the head, we're using Paul's, he did a 9e lightweight dome. Have you guys all seen that one? Yes, no, maybe, kind of, okay.
No.
Yeah, so at BBAZ, God, what, when was Paul here last? It was 3 years ago. I sat down with Paul and we went through the 9e head and made it about half the weight of what Tiny had. So it's a pretty massive difference. My 9e head right now that I've been running with for a few years, with the head mount and everything, weighs right around 1 pound. And the new one I think is going to be closer to 3/4. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 1/4 pound is a lot in the BB-8 world when it comes down to stability and keeping the head on. And 9e is a lot more critical as far as weight than BB-8 is. So in order to keep the head smooth. I'm trying to think of what else from a timeline standpoint. Okay, my BB-9e, I built him, drove him, sat him there somewhere. Where is he? There he is. And he sits there most of the time. So the files that I have are ones that I developed for my 9e. So they are developed, like I said, around the V2 skeleton. The V1 skeleton they may work with, but the difference, there was about a 2mm difference between the V1 and the V2, which means that you would have to scale the files slightly if you want to use an older V1 skeleton. The things like the under panels, which are designed, and the things that I used on my 9e, as I built him, I went through, you know, it's like you design it, and I designed the under panels, and I made it so that way there were places for the LEDs wires to run out in different directions, because I had no idea at the time which way I wanted to run the wires around the sphere. Well, now that I've wired him, I actually need to go through and change some of those wire paths. So pretty much the plan is, after people get into the club and join the group, my plan is to spend about a week on each under panel and just go ahead and tweak it and refine it and look at what I should have done to mine, and then give the file out to you guys. Now, am I promising the files are going to be perfect on the first shot? Nope, I can't, because I'm the only one that's printed them on my machines, and everybody has a different machine. You know, some people have machines that are going to have more shrinkage. Some people, you know, there's so many different variants on 3D printing, it's insane. But I'll guarantee you, from a 3D CAD standpoint, the files are perfect. So beyond that, you guys are probably going to end up having to do some playing to make them fit exactly like you want them to fit. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else. The triangles are the exact same thing as BB-8. So it's using my V2 thin triangles. So you guys can print those. For the circles, it's BB-8's circles. And I just chopped out this section so you can put the grill in. That's all there is to it. So I'll be putting those files out as well. And the build itself, like I said, is actually pretty similar to BB-8. It's just a lot of little cosmetic things. And it's pretty simple to build. I mean, even things like the grills themselves, they're super glued into, I don't know if you could see it, super glued into the edge of the frame. The reason why they don't crack is because my under panels, you really can't see it. I built ribs into them, so that way on the weak spot of the grill, which would be this longer area, on the underside, there's actually ribs on the under panel that capture this. So if you get weight rolling over it, you won't bend these longer ones here. Trying to think what other questions. What do you guys have? Anybody?
Which triangles? You said the thin triangles, and we have like the number 1 and number 2 triangles. Are they a combination of each still?
Yeah. So BB-8 has 6 number 1s and 2 number 2s. The only difference between a number 1 and a number 2 is the 4 little. Let's see if I have one here. Yeah, these 4 little striations or lines here. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yes.
That's quite literally the only difference between a number 1 and a number 2.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And then if you want to be able to charge them externally, there is a number 1 with a removable charging port, which essentially just makes this, I don't know what you call it, a handle. This piece right here is now removable. So you print this, and then you print this little chunk here separately. Now, I would highly suggest that you don't, triangles would be the very last thing that I would print, because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to print these, assemble these once you get the grills, and then do a final fitment by printing the triangle and doing test fits. Because what you'll find is that if you print these and these are slightly off, even if your triangles are perfect, you're not going to fit right. So it is a bit of work to get it down right, because if you think about it, you're trying to 3D print panels to fit perfectly over another sphere. You're trying to fit a sphere over a sphere perfectly. So it's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it is definitely possible. So I would wait on the body panels until the last thing. I would actually work on printing out the head. I would work on, you could do the head, the skirt, the top cap. I'll give out these files so you guys can print these files, and then the under panels, like I said, will be once a week, once every couple of weeks kind of range. So by the time that the grills come in, you'll probably have the rest of the droid ready. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was curious, is there any difference in the way that the BB-9e head rolls across the body given the grates?
Absolutely.
Okay. Would you like to expand more on that?
Nope, I don't. That is the one catch that even Disney has not figured out yet.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that'll be given out very last. But yeah, it does not use a standard head mount to roll over the grates, and it does not use standard casters, because if it did, the wheels would get stuck in the grates and yep, gone.
The V1 drive, is that the same then? So we could start putting that together, and then would we need to buy the aluminum parts again?
Yeah. So the V1 drive is the exact same. The only difference is if you look, once you're in the V1 group, if you look at it, there are a couple files. One of them I think is called a weighted box, and the other one is the servo tilt mount. Well, both of those files assemble the main upper portion of the drive to the lower spin platter portion of the drive. And there is one there that says for, I may need to rename it, but thickered frames or something like that, which effectively pulls that saucer section up by a tiny bit. But otherwise, the V1 drive is the exact same. So if you guys want to get another V1 drive going, I do have some of the metal pieces in stock. I think I have 10 kits or something like that, but I could order those anytime because they're done locally. As far as bits and pieces and parts for the drive, the total dollar amount for that usually is about $2,800, but it varies. And the reason why I say that is because if you wait, like I think this weekend, Easter, a lot of times Servo City will do sales, and you can pick up 10, 20, 30% off or whatever. So you can certainly shop around and reduce the price of the drive. When it comes down to the metal grates and if you order the metal grates, you'll get shipped when they come in. If you order the metal grates and a skeleton, they'll get shipped together at the same time. Now, if you want to contact me and PayPal me for separate shipping, I'll ship out the skeleton ahead of time. But otherwise, it just gets really confusing because this person wants their skeleton, this person wants them both at once. You know what I mean? It gets pretty confusing on my side pretty fast. Any other questions?
Yeah, with the metal grills, you're mentioning ordering some extra. Like, what are some of the issues that you've run into with having to replace some of the grills, like as you're fitting them in?
I've never replaced a metal grill.
Oh, okay.
So no issues so far. Fitting them was no issue. The biggest problem with fitting them, in all honesty, is when you glue in the metal grills, you have to make sure that your circle's flat. And what I did was, tacked them in and then did a glue bead along the backside. But I have quite a bit of hours on my 9e. I've never bent a grill yet. Now, I'm also super careful with him. I mean, he's driven on carpet. I baby him like I used to baby BB-8. So he's on carpet. Well, he's shiny black, right? I mean,
yeah.
you're taking your shiny black car finish and you're scrubbing it across the carpet at a convention center. So no matter what, it's going to get trashed. So I'm really careful with him. I mean, unlike BB-8, I mean, you see me with BB-8, I jump him over metal door jams. I don't care. It's more natural weathering. But yeah, I've never broken one. But the reason why I did suggest extra grills is, like I said, I mean, you're taking him out of your car and he slips and you drop it on a grill, or somebody takes their aluminum R2 and rams it into the side of your BB-8. Even if they're willing to pay for a grill, there are no grills.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, the second question I had is getting convention debris inside the sphere. Do you have
Mhm.
anything backing behind it? So as you're rolling through, or he's just going to kind of pick up things?
I haven't had any problems. So
Okay.
the panels underneath with the V1. Hold on, sorry. So the way that the panels underneath work is they're more or less sized, so they drop into here, and just this angle kind of keeps them from falling all the way in. And then there's screws on the perimeter that you literally just slide down into the 4 slots, and you tighten them down, and that locks this in. So at this point, it's 99% sealed. And then when you put the this piece over top, it kind of just does the final sealing. Now, the only thing I have had is, you get dust and hair and junk down in here, but you just take one of those air cans and just blow it out.
Right. Yeah. Because that was the only thing I was thinking about is like the stuff inside the drive system, just some weird freak accident, your girl picks up something like a piece of gum or whatever, like just something stupid,
Yeah.
things happen, so just trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
figure out like how to mitigate that, because I know all of us are going to be babying it because it's like, the Porsche BBs at this point because of the nice paint job,
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Okay.
So another thing sorry, Nicholas is over here writing me notes.
Hey,
So another
Nicholas.
thing, you got to chime in here and say hi a little bit. Hello.
Hey.
So another, I think this might have been his suggestion actually. I can't remember, but what we are going to do is we're going to do numbered tags for the drives or for the BB-9e. And what we'll do is we'll actually hide it. We'll have a little spot for like a placard underneath one of the panels. We'll laser etch it black, so you won't notice it unless it's there, but that way you'll have, a numbered BB-9e, which would be kind of cool. We actually did that on the B1 drives at first. So we'll hide that under, I'm taking number 1 and 2.
I want 9. No.
That would actually be perfect. But it's simply going to be in order of order, because everybody's going to want 3, 7, 9. There'll be a barrage of people wanting a certain number. And you're right, probably 9e would be, be pretty high up that list now that I think about it.
I'll take 6.
You'll take 6? Well, let's see. What you got to do is sit online and wait till 5 other people have ordered.
Could be sitting there like this,
Damn, I bought 1 through 6.
Oh.
What other questions are out there?
Do you have the sound files for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the electronics package is done by Stefan, because it's the V1 drive. But we do have the sound files, and he has already programmed for the lights and everything else for 9e. I don't think there's anything on your side that you'd even need to do at this point, right, Stefan? Nada?
Not that I remember, and I didn't even remember that I did the LED. That's good.
Yep.
I did
Well,
that? Oh.
Yeah, so no, I don't know who knows this. So when I built my original 9e, I wanted to get it done before the premiere of Jedi, and start to finish was 65 days, and that was including all the design, engineering, and everything else. So that was a lot of really long nights, and he probably doesn't remember it because it was a lot of really long nights. But yeah, even if he's lost them, I still have all the audio files and everything else. And in all honesty, I can't even remember where I got them. Other questions?
What would you recommend for filament wise as material anyway, like PLA, ABS? I know, heat wise, ABS is better, but for like interior panels and exterior panels, what would you recommend?
Everything I'm doing now, 99% of it is ASA. It seems to be a little bit easier to print than ABS. It has the same type of heat tolerances and everything else. It's a little bit stiffer than ABS, which is a good thing. And it's completely UV tolerant, whereas ABS is somewhat UV tolerant. So I would suggest ASA if you can. As a matter of fact, my 9E head that I'm in the process of trying to finish is ASA.
Cool.
And with that being said, if you don't have that capability, my 9E is printed out of PLA currently. And I've never had any problems, but I also keep them in the car with the air conditioning on. And if we go into a restaurant, he goes in the cart, goes into the restaurant. You know, and if you're at a show, I'm rude and I push my way up to the front because you almost have to, you know, because otherwise you'll melt in the sun. But I'm going to be building another 9E along with you guys. So my plan is ASA on my next 9E.
What's nozzle temp on that? And do you have to have a heated chamber?
You should have a heated chamber. If anything, there are some programs, I can't remember which one, that allows it to actually build a shield around it at the same time. I would build a chamber if you could. For the 3DX Tech stuff, which is what I use, the ASA is 255 nozzle and 105 bed. And you can actually, if you go on to Raise 3D, even if you don't have a Raise 3D printer, if you go on to Raise 3D, they have downloadable profiles that they've set up with manufacturers for their different filaments. So you might be able to download it and import it there. If not, I can share the settings that I have. And just keep in mind that every single printer is going to be different. But I would highly suggest enclosing it, especially, you know, with a bed temp of 105. If you don't, you're just going to heat your house up really fast.
Do you recommend a certain brand of ASA?
I use 3DX Tech. I don't know if you guys can.
All right, great.
3DX Tech, and it's just their normal ASA. I usually cook it, you know, overnight. Even if I open up brand new, I usually cook it overnight just to get any moisture out at all. But it's been pretty consistent. I've gone through a lot of rolls of it. And color really doesn't matter. I tend to go with gray if possible, just because you get to see the most flaws before you even primer it. But it's going to take time to, you know, dial everything in. You guys are going to have to figure it out. But I'm pretty sure everybody here has done a lot of 3D printing, so you know the fun that it is to dial it in. What other questions? Nothing. Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and you know, put them on some of the threads in Droid Design or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer them. I see Tiffany Thomas laughing at something. Unmute. Let us know what it is.
Sorry, we're getting texts from other people.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, if you have any questions, go ahead and text it on the Droid Designs thread. BB-8 Builders Club shut down commenting on the post on that club, so you're not going to be able to comment there. But try to keep questions on the Droid Designs actual thread. Try not to PM me. And the only reason why is because I get a lot of it, and a lot of people are asking the exact same questions. So it'd be nice for people to just have a resource, and that's an easy place to find it. So if you have any other questions, just let me know. And otherwise, thanks for joining.
A quick question for you, Kerry.
Yeah.
So has the other group been, the BB-9e group, been made already, or is that up and coming yet?
The Facebook group is already created. It's
Okay.
just sitting there right now. It's a closed group. And when people order, at that point, they'll be let into the group.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And the pre-order goes live midnight Arizona time?
No, it's I think I set it up for, was it noon Arizona time? I'd have to look at it, but I didn't do it for midnight because I don't want to be up at midnight. So I want to say it's noon Arizona time. Any other questions? Nada. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining. If you have anything, just go ahead and let me know. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thanks.
Terry.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Love to the
Bye.
family.
Thank you.
Thank you.